Heya, I'm John, aka Xanzibaer, and welcome to the Streemtech Sprint Summary for September 28th through October 12th, 2022. For those unaware, a sprint is a unit of time that a team has to complete a specific amount of work. Ours lasts 2 weeks and cycles over every other Tuesday night. This video is going to go over the work that we completed in the sprint that just took place. Every company has things that they have to do that are more administrative than direct development, but those things are just as vital. As part of a way to optimize Streemtech, each sprint, the goal is to complete one primarily administrative task that optimizes Streemtech itself. This sprint, work was done to go through and sum up all expenses to get a good picture of the budget. While we won't share the full report just now, we will share that our expenses are currently 5 digits. Companies are expensive. The goal is to post a full report publicly shortly into the new year. We also did some really important work on monitoring our systems. Every service now has a Grafana dashboard automatically generated for it that we can use to track the really important metrics. With this, we will be able to keep tabs on things like the number of polls created, or the number of items in our file hoster, or how backed up transcoding is, as well as a series of common metrics like memory and CPU usage. Hoster is responsible for the hosting and management of user-uploaded assets such as videos and images. While uploading and hosting the files is relatively simple, Hoster has a second job. Hoster, or in this case its sub-process transcoder, is also responsible for transcoding the uploaded assets into different formats. Currently this is only limited to generating thumbnails for pictures and videos, as well as retranscoding videos into WebM for embedding. But in the future, we hope to have it transcode different qualities and aspect ratios, as well as allow for users to specify the thumbnail of an image. This sprint, we went through and revamped how the interaction between hoster and transcoder works, making it more stable and easier to support more media formats in the future. We also took the time to upgrade the API to use our new standardized APIs and code generation that we've spoken about before. This made a few things a bit more complicated, but it was worth the work to clean up so much other stuff. It was mentioned last summary how the Watcher service was done, but had to go through integration hell. Time was taken this week to drag it through said hell, and it was kicking and screaming as we did so. While we were able to go through the entire process, requesting specific data, to setting up the connection, to receiving and sending an event, and finally displaying the event at the original requester, it took a lot of work. The integration process showed that Watchers needs quite a bit of work and potentially a large rewrite. If it were reasonable enough to be able to add a new subscription type to Watchers, it would be okay enough. Unfortunately, there's such a tangled mess of data and functions that it would quickly become unstable, if not a security risk. Much of the code used in this rewrite can remain, such as the code used to receive and verify Twitch webhooks, but there is work to be done to make sure that the supporting code and the code that ties it all together is not only able to do what it needs, but able to do it in a clean and expandable way. Gacha Alerts front end. There was some minor work done on the pagination components and getting them tied into the main pages, but most of the time spent on front end was digging in and really learning Angular. As always, education is never wasted, and with this better education, we will be able to move faster in the future. Gacha Alerts backend. Only one API endpoint remains to be worked on, and that requires a bit of work on another service before it can be completed, but all others are done. The work to reach this point also included going through and adding a few touch-ups to the already completed requests. As the API endpoints are done, we have started going through the database requests. This has so far involved commenting out the execs of the interface, as well as starting on writing down the potential security vulnerabilities that need to be accounted for. Even though most of the things we are checking are already taken care of on the API side of things, it's good defensive programming to make sure we are taking care of everything in both places. We hope to have this documentation complete this sprint, and begin on writing the actual database queries, but only time will tell. And that wraps it up for our sprint summary. As a reminder, if you're looking for a way to create polls live on stream or otherwise, be sure to visit stream.tech/poll/create. My name is John, thank you for watching, and as we like to say here at Streemtech, stay crazy, stay curious.